긴긴 얘기를 나누던 우리.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be recreating Helga's locket of Hey Arnold, or sorry, Arnold, with this frame that I got from work a few months back. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly the same size as Helga's picture frame thing. I think she had a picture frame and a locket. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, nonetheless, I'm gonna do that with this picture, and I hope you guys stay tuned and watch. So what I'm gonna be doing here is spray painting this frame gold because Helga's picture of Arnold is in a gold heart frame. I ended up putting some plastic bag underneath it. I took all the contents out from the frame and I wrapped it in a plastic bag. Then I went online and I looked around for a good picture of Arnold so I could draw it on the Cricut app that I have on my iPad. And it was kind of hard because most of the nice ones were GIFs and it was moving a little too fast for me, so I couldn't really get the screenshot. So I just ended up going through a search. I found a picture on Etsy. Normally I wouldn't do this because I mean, it's Etsy, like that's other people's work. However, I'm not selling it, it's for personal use, so I just went ahead and took the picture and put it into Cricut, and from there I just edited it. I had to use the removal tool, which is just basically an eraser, like in Photoshop when it just like a erase bucket kind of thing. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I hate voiceovers, I'm sorry, but it basically just removes all the color inside the lines. So that's what I was doing here, and then I just kept going, and eventually I was finished. But you can watch this very long sequence of me trying to get rid of all the color pixels out of here, because if you leave them, it'll end up on the Cricut image, and then the Cricut will pick it up as if it's something that you're supposed to draw, and then you'll just end up with a bunch of speckles everywhere, and you don't want that. So I was very, very thorough in going through that. Then finally, once it gets to it, I had to take a picture of the, I don't know what happened, but I ended up with a bunch of white space instead of just like a transparent background. So I had to delete the white space as well, and then I went ahead and went through the whole thing. I ended up resizing the picture to the dimensions that the picture frame was, because if you don't, you'll end up with either a very large image or a very small image. So make sure that you check the dimensions of what you're drawing on versus just putting it on there and hoping for the best. Another thing you want to check is if you're going to cut or draw on the Cricut machine, you have to check the cut line or the draw line, because if you press cut, it's gonna cut it, and you don't want that. So I didn't make that mistake this time. I think I did it another time when I first got the machine, but definitely make sure that that you're pressing the draw button. Also, I have 4 or 5 markers, and they're different type of like thickness. I don't think it really matters, to be honest, but I just did it anyways, and then I just went ahead and drew the picture. This is my lovely Cricut Maker. I got it at Michael's for, I think, $200 something. I got it in this champagne pink color. This is how it opens. You just lift the top and it just automatically starts rising, and the bottom will fall out, down, below, whatever. And then this is how you're gonna load it. I'm taking the marker that I want to use, and I'm putting it upside down inside of this slot. You have to make sure the arrow on the marker isn't showing. You have to push it down, and then you have to close the clasp. Here I'm just showing you the picture frame size, the dimensions. I have to measure it because on the Cricut app it actually shows you the size, like the measuring, and you have to be very accurate, because if you don't, it'll draw the picture off of oh my gosh, I can't speak. It'll draw the picture off of the paper, and it'll mess up your whole project. So I'm just showing you what it would look like if I was using a heart, and I later on removed that and used an actual piece of paper to draw it so I can cut it to size once it's done. So what I did was I took some of my pastel chalks and I used those to color in Arnold's picture, and this is the final project.
Well, here we go.